going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new tactic, and today we've got the Ultimate 343 V2, an upgraded version on the previous Ultimate 343 from quite a while back. We've had a bit of a revamp, gone back to the lab and got more out of the tactic. If you do enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and once again you can comment below any tactic you want to see. We've got tons of requests, but of course if you're on the Patreon they do get priority, so keep that in mind. Yesterday we had someone request 9 on there, so to be fair, your suggestion might be in that batch, so trust me, we've got endless content. Let's get into it. So then, first up is going to be Leeds United in the Sky Bet Championship. Now, this team are a very strong team in the Championship, but as we know in real life, the Championship can go either way any single season. Now, we did enjoy a great season. We didn't actually lose a single game. So, out of 46 games, we only managed to fail to win 2. Now, again, Leeds are a very strong team, but the only teams sort of that give us any sort of competition are West Brom and Preston, of all teams, who are nowhere near even inside of the top 10, I don't believe. So very, very surprising to slip up against them. Wilfred Gnonto comes in with 67 goals. Dan James, the most Championship player ever. He always thrives in there. In the Premier League, it goes pretty downhill in this game from my experience. 35 assists, 179 goals in the league and only 20 conceded. And we also go on to win the FA Cup 2-0 over Tottenham. Now, it wasn't just goals conceded and goals scored we were good at, because we also had over 1,000 shots. Most clean sheets, possession, we're also going to be in there, which does surprise me because this tactic is known for many things: defensive stability, goals, shots on target, take-ons with dribbles, but possession is something which it was not really designed to do. So to be honest, that's a little bit of a bonus. I wouldn't really get used to that, to be honest. Now, the goals per game, 3.89, only 0.43 conceded, an 88% pass completion, and over 22 shots a game. So I mean, with Leeds United, it is pretty much, well, it is a flawless season with no losses. The Carabao Cup, I guess you could say, you can't be negative. I mean, it's Man City, and we have won also the FA Cup. It's a remarkable season. Of course, an FA Cup final does bring out Wembley, a big occasion for the Leeds team, and it is going to be Gnonto, who tries to take on everyone. We're then going to have Bogle with a ball in into Perot, who, if you watch me in FM24, which you might not have done, but if you did, you'll know he was one of my favourite strikers, which is a bit of a weird shout, but he is so good in that FM, and it's nice to see him still scoring goals, as we are going to see a little bit of build-up here, and I tell you what, a nice cut-in, and all that's unlucky, but we'll take it. We are now going to go over to the yellow side of the Bundesliga. That is going to be with Borussia Dortmund, and again, it is going to be 2 trophies. In the league, we do lose a game on this occasion. We also draw 2 games against Bayern and Borussia Mönchengladbach. The loss comes in against Frankfurt, so still dominant in terms of results, dominant in terms of actual sheer performance, and as you can see there, we give Leipzig an absolute battering on 2 occasions, so we can go up and beat some of the best teams in German football. Now, the DFB Pokal, we are also going to beat Bayer Leverkusen 2-0, and very similar to the last story with Leeds, we have got 1-star man, and I will say that player up front is going to be getting a lot of your goals because he gets fed the chances. So 51 goals from Garassi Yankuto, one of my favourite right backs, with 21 assists. The team stats also looking very good: 124 goals, over 780 shots. We are also going to have the most take-ons, the fewest conceded, and has possession come in? It has, with 56%. So, I mean, I said it wasn't expected, but now that is 2 seasons in 2 very different temperaments of football, and you're averaging over 55%. So if you say that in your head as an average, that would actually be quite fair, to be honest. Now, in terms of the data hub, very similar: 3.65 goals a game, 0.53 conceded, an 87% pass completion, and over 23 shots a game. So again, a very strong season, and we are yet to test with a powerhouse. So that's going to be the real sort of the max you can see, and that's going to come up after this highlight. We head to Berlin for this final, and I will say, when you play Bayer Leverkusen in a final or any game, they're not a nice team to play. They're a very good team. Duranville is going to go through though and make it 1-0 with a great goal from Gittens, a great square from Duranville, and we are going to wrap it up obviously in 2-0 fashion with Schlotterbeck on the ball, and a little bit lucky again, and I don't know who was that. That is awful from Tapsoba. I would not be happy with him in my team, but we'll take the 2-0 win. Lastly, the powerhouse of the video is going to be Paris Saint-Germain. Now, they are a very strong team, but do you know what? I like to include a powerhouse because we can actually sort of see what you can do at the pinnacle of a tactic, and sometimes that's all you need to see. Now, in terms of the other competitions, we'll talk about the table in a second. We're going to win the Trophy de Champion. We're going to win that 2-0 over AS Monaco, a decent team. The French Cup against Lille, 4-0, and the Champions League, I think we'll watch. So we did beat Madrid, but we'll watch the highlights. Now, in terms of the league, only one loss. That comes in against Monaco, who do finish second. But I mean, look at the points difference. There is no competition. Ramos is nearly approaching 70 goals. Dembele assisting almost everything, it seems. And I tell you what, in terms of the stats, again, possession, you can easily favour 55% now. The most goals, the most shots, the most take-ons. I mean, we are PSG, so we're not going to deep the stats too much because we are PSG. We know exactly what we're doing. Now, I will go over and say right now, the Data Hub is going to be the best in this regard, and this entire tactic was done using the attacking version. The whole season, the attacking version. 4.59 goals a game, 0.44 conceded, just 0.1 off an 88% pass completion, and a good amount of shots per game. So that's 3 very different tests, and I tell you what, it's 3 very, very good sets of results. I'll be honest with you, in terms of the Champions League final, it was very, very one way. As we sort of have seen, we did win the game, but you're yet to see in what fashion until Barcola goes through. And again, I thought I would get a bit lucky with the goals in this video, but we are going to take a lead in the Champions League final. And to be honest with you, Madrid just sat really deep. Now, they sometimes do this with Ancelotti and almost work their way into the game, but you can see how many people are back, and we're still getting shots on target. If you're going to play that way, they need to be blocking the shots, and they didn't block one, to be honest. As Vitinha goes through again with Marquinhos, look how many people are back in this Madrid team. It's absolutely shocking that they let that happen. Courtois had a bit of a stinker, I'll be honest, because that looked very close to him. But this Real Madrid team, genuinely disappointed. Now, I'm happy with it because I won a Champions League, but this Madrid team today, what is going on with them? I would not want to be a fan. Right then, over to your favourite part of the video. That is going to be the tactic breakdown. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once again, if you do want to watch me make these live and also watch me play Football Manager, we do live stream on this channel. For your rebuilds, that is Daily Josh in the description. We're covering every element of Football Manager, so you don't need to go anywhere else. Now, to go and make this tactic, you want to simply scroll down right here and you want to create your own style. And we are going to load in a 5-2-1, 5-2-1-2, and let's go over and talk through the system. So the first thing you want to do is go down and select the attacking mentality, because we are, funny enough, going to be quite attacking. Now, technically, in my opinion, this 3-4-3 is genuinely... it surprised me a little bit, because in terms of the possession, I wasn't expecting it to have it, and it does surprise me to a fair degree. And anyone that is actually watching my live streams might recognise this tactic to a level. Now, it's very similar to the one I've got on my live streams. The Patrons had it 2 weeks or like a week early, so they would have seen this before. So this is a little bit tweaked to more suit every team, opposed to just my United team on stream. Now, let's go over and actually break it down then. So the goalkeeper is going to be a sweeper keeper on defend, and he is simply going to have one instruction, that is going to be tackle harder. And this is done because I actually want him to be quite a confident goalkeeper. We're quite an aggressive team, and therefore if he wants to tackle harder, I am all for it. Now, this is where the tactic differs a lot from the one that you have probably seen on my live streams, because when I make a free back, I try and go all out. I try and go attacking, and if I can and it works, I'll happily release it. So this is something which, I will be honest, I picked up from Nap, and it works absolutely incredible. We are going to go with 3 ball playing defenders, and every single one is going to be set to dribble more and tackle harder. Now, a lot of people start freaking out. A lot of people get this image that means all 3 centre-backs at the same time will push up. That's not the case at all. Only the man on the ball will push up. So it's honestly not that serious. A lot of people get really panicky when it comes down to that. And trust me, it is completely fine. What I will say is, if you are playing in a team that isn't the best in terms of technical centre-backs, or maybe you've only got 2 that are good on the ball, do not have dribble more on a player that can't comfortably build up from the back. It's fairly common sense, but I will make it very, very clear. Now, going up to, obviously, a very important part of the team, that is going to be the wing-backs. Both of these play such a crucial role. Both of them are simply going to be set to attack, and they are going to have some more instructions, consistent of taking more risks alongside of crossing more, also crossing at the centre, alongside of cutting inside, staying wider, and also tackling harder. So again, they have got a lot of instructions. They've got take more risks, cross more, cross aim centre, cut inside, stay wide, and also tackle harder. So, you know, they're going to provide the width by staying wider. When they've got the ball, they're going to get forward, and they'll also cut inside and deliver a ball in. So they will do everything you would want an attacking wing back to do. So once again, we're going to replicate. Tackle harder, stay wider, cut inside, alongside of cross more, cross at the centre, and also take more risks. I don't believe I've forgotten anything. I will make sure I haven't. They are exactly the same. We're then going to go incredibly basic, but the most meta way of playing Football Manager. We are going to go with 2 DMs who are simply both going to be on support and simply both be on tackle harder. Now, I will say, if you want to get a little bit fancy, you want to have a little bit of fun, I did have a few games tweaking it to a deep line playmaker, and it worked completely fine. There wasn't too much difference. If anything, a little less possession. That's the only thing. So that is completely up to you. Now, I will say at this part of the video, if you are enjoying and you are interested in getting all 3 of these tactics and these wonderful perks, you can head over to the Patreon, where we still have just a 20% discount code. So make sure you come on over, because you get all of my tactics from the year. You get them on mobile, you get them on console, you get all of my rebuild files, which is one every other day. It works out, well, there is literally a piece of exclusive content every single day, and it's about 13 pence over the month. So make sure you come on over, because there is endless FM content, and also all these videos, you know, the ads you're getting, you get no ads on Patreon. So make sure you head on over. Now, going up to the team, we are obviously going to talk through. Now, we're not going to go narrow today, so that is going to be the first shock, which you might not be expecting. We are going to play with 2 inside forwards, and both of them are going to be on support. Now, I really like this sort of combo of the attacking wing backs and the support of inside forwards. You don't really need to have these on attack, the inside forwards, especially in the default version. That might change in the attacking one, but for the default, we'll keep them on support. Now, in terms of the instructions, they are going to have quite a fair few. We are going to look to cross at the centre, alongside of sit narrow, tackle harder, and also mark position. So if you're on the right hand side, you are going to mark the D in brackets L. So this player here will be marking there, and on the left, obviously it's the opposite position, so the D in brackets R, and he's also going to be told to sit narrow, tackle harder, and also get the balls at the centre. Now, you've probably seen there's a lot of focus on the centre. Now, we need a role that is pretty much just going to get in the position, stand his ground, and finish. So for me, and you don't see it too often in tactics, I actually used a poacher. And he was simply on tackle harder. And I tell you what, the poacher really impressed me. He was purely the bagsman, nothing else, not really a hard worker, just there to score the goals. Now, you can use an advanced forward, but I try and switch things up now and then. And you know what? I am really happy with how this has turned out, because it's nice to use a different role up front, because a lot of these roles are familiar, and if you do want to see me make a tactic with different roles in, please let me know in the comments. But I also factor in majority of my viewers are here for results, so I do have to have that in the back of my mind. Now, going over to the team instructions, we are going to go all the way down to narrow. We're going to pass into the space, focus down the right and the left with mixed crosses. We're going to run at defence with that shorter passing directness and that higher tempo. So yes, a very aggressive way of playing football. We are then going to look to counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and play to anyone across the back line while taking short goal kicks. Again, getting the job done. And out of possession, we are going to deploy the high press, the much higher defensive line, invite crosses alongside of step up more, get stuck in, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and of course that trigger press is going to be maxed out. Now, we are going to go over instantly into the attacking version. This is purely designed for a powerhouse team such as a PSG. We've done the whole season with them in this. I would not recommend playing anything under a powerhouse of this, but also you can have this to get back into a game or to go and grab a winner. So make sure when you're playing with these tactics, you do go over and download all 3 or copy all 3. So in the game, you can literally click one button and it will change the entire outlook. So make sure you are doing that, because I feel a lot of people just download the default tactic, for example, and then they'll go and use it with like a relegation team, or they'll use it with powerhouses and they're not scoring enough goals. There's 3 tactics for a very, very valid reason, and that's because we do use all 3. Now, going over to the actual breakdown, the goalkeeper, the ball players remain the same, the wing backs remain the same, double Volante comes in, so a real buff up there, both on support, both on tackle harder. The inside forwards obviously had a little bit of a change. They are simply going to be on attack. The same instructions, but on attack. And the poacher, he remains the same. Team instructions, again, set to attacking, all the way down to narrow, pass into the space, mixed crosses, focus down the left and the right, shorter, the higher tempo, but this time we are going to look to double up on the run at defence and also be more expressive. In transition, I'm not going to waste your time, that's not what I'm about. We're going to counter press, counter, distribute quickly, play to anyone across the back line, and simply take short goal kicks. So it is pretty much the same. And out of possession, it is going to be pretty much a dead replica as well, as because we are trying to go even more attacking, you can't really change too much. So there you go. That is going to be exactly the same. Now, the defensive version is very important because the tactic is very attacking and you need to calm yourself down sometimes. And that's exactly where this tactic comes in. So the sweeper keeper does remain the same. The ball players all now on the default, so a big change there. The wing backs both on defend, both on tackle harder, a big change. 2 DMs both on support, both on tackle harder. The inside forwards do remain the same as the default, and the poacher also remains the same. But the big difference here is the positive mentality for one, but also it is how defensive we are with those wing backs. This is now defend, 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 and without it, you're never going to have that in your team. You need to make sure you've got this variant. Now, in terms of in possession, we are still going to play that narrow approach because it's the DNA of the team. We're still going to pass into the space. We're still going to focus down the left and the right. But this is where the tactic is the dark arts of football. So the tempo is in the middle. The passing up by 1 to slightly more direct. Time wasting all the way up. Dribbling, run at defence. If you've got mine, play for the set pieces because I easily score 10 to 15 goals a season at minimum with my set pieces. In transition, we're going to regroup, then counter, slow the pace down, play to anyone across the back line while taking short goal kicks. And probably where it changes the most is this. The standard line with that high press, in the middle, trigger press, and simply get stuck in. And that's going to give you boys and girls 3 variants of the ultimate 3-4-3.2. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and because the game's been cancelled, we are going through all my popular tactics and making a second version. If I can improve it, if I can't, I won't post it. So if there's any of your favourite tactics below, please leave a comment of a video that's already been done. Johan Cruyff, I have got 42 requests. So Johan Cruyff will be being remade because I feel like I could have done a better job with that one, so we are going to go back and revisit. That will probably be coming out next week if I can manage it, because the Patreon messages have been absolutely pinging. So be sure to head on over there, drop your requests in, download all the tactics, all the rebuilds, have a great time, and on top of that, there's an £800 giveaway, so we've got endless stuff going on. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.